Got me. Got to
He
change
beat you
that.
in?
Beat me in. We're going to change that. I think it's cheating the system. You know, instead of 4:45. Anyways, well, one more day of ball before we head out. You know, and for spring break, we do have final exams, so we want to get 5 practices in before we head out, because we had trained so hard, we had done so much with the off season that we wanted to make sure that we saw the results, that we saw the benefits of it. It's worked out really well. We still have a ton of work to do fundamentally, but we have done a ton of work fundamentally, and it's been successful so far.
What will be your message to the guys about how they handle themselves the next couple of weeks?
Well, it's critical to understand that now this is a culture that's continuing to grow and change and elevate, and the only way to elevate that standard is to understand that, you know, the decisions that they make, yeah, they not only affect them, they impact everybody. So we talk about how the O never comes off. The O can never come off. We have to be great ambassadors in everything we do and everywhere we go. And quite frankly, look, this is this industry nowadays, you've got to be in great shape year round. You've got to train. You've got to make sure that you're sharp mentally. We've added a bunch of new schemes, a bunch of new adjustments, and these guys got to constantly review that. You've got to detach for a little bit. You've got to go see family, but this is more of a relaxed time and a kind of see your family time than it is do something else.
Where do you pick up when you come back? The schedule when you come back, where do you want to be at?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Review,
you start all over
again.
again. You start all over again. We've kind of almost fully installed for 5 days, and then you reinstall for the next 5 days. So
you and Marcus this year, how do you see that working with, I know he's the play caller, how much do you want to have involved in that? How much do you envision you guys working in during the week?
We'll work together during the week, and Marcus will be the play caller. He will, but as a run game coordinator, as an offensive line coach, I'll always have the heavy hand protections and the run game. You know, we gained some ground last year. Last year we made our way up to about number 8 in the country in the running game, and we can do a whole lot better. We can. We left a lot of real estate out there. We feel that if we continue along the lines of what we're preaching and teaching up front, being physical, playing with power, mixing up what we do in terms of our alignments in the backfield, and of course with the ability of Justin and the other guys to make stuff happen with the ball in their hands, it's a great opportunity for us to continue to evolve.
You guys had some things maybe last year you thought, hey, we can try this, but the head coach didn't, but maybe now all of a sudden, hey, there's some of these things we wanted to try out last year. Let's see how it works. Or,
you know, and that's part of it. You know, we thought that we had a really good system, but the system had to evolve, and simply because there are so many good defense coordinators out there, and if you just stay and keep the back in one spot all the time, it's not hard to find it. And eventually it's going to get you, especially in the run game and the way they dial up, you know, different types of blitzes and stunts and fronts against you. So we've got to be a little bit more multiple, and but it's not because it's better or not. I'm not trying to judge anybody's offense. It's just we're a little bit different, but there's a lot of character. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that we did last year that was excellent, that we'll continue to evolve with, and it's something that we all kind of worked on together. But the numbers when we were healthy were pretty staggering, and they can get even better. We got to do a better job coaching. What's that?
You ever have to tell Coach Phil to tone it down?
We can't tone it down on what we're doing. We can't. We're a high energy, high enthusiasm operation. And for us to be successful, everyone's got to adapt to that. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's got to permeate the locker room, because early is on time, right? We have 7:30 meetings, should be in your seat by 7:20. If you're going to approach a weight room or workout that day, you got to bring all the energy you have. It can't be just kind of going through the motions in our reps. Today we got a bunch of guys down, right? And that's okay. Other guys got to play, because like we tell them all the time, on so-and-so day at so-and-so time, the ball's going to be kicked off, and no one cares if you're banged up. No one cares if you're missing a player. So the mentality is it's starting to catch on, but we still have lots of work to do. And the best part about that is our guys recognize that, and they want to attack that. They want to approach that the right way and know that it's going to be critical in us being a less penalized team, and us being a more technically and fundamentally sound team, and being able to win games in the fourth quarter. So,
how's the penalties?
Very long this year compared to last year. Do you notice a change in intensity, focus, willingness?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's paramount for our team to get better. And our team is kind of a tale of, you know, it's two different stories. We're either at home, we play really well, and we beat teams, have beaten teams, you know, pretty soundly. And then we've gone on the road and we haven't had the same kind of success. There's a gap there that we have to find a way to address, close, and rectify. Does that make sense? And to do so, it's got to happen in the off season. That's why what we do in the strength and conditioning department, what we do in our winter conditioning department is critical to us changing the mentality and creating a mindset. The mindset's what's going to carry us over. And we tell our guys all the time, we're going to win September, October, November, December with what we do from January all the way to August. You cannot make it up any other way. And so it's you should jump in there. You got some good workouts for everybody. You should see the staff workouts. Man, we need some work in that department. But it's important for our staff to be active and to be able to run around and to demonstrate and to show energy as well. Because there's nothing worse than preaching, run, preaching, show intensity, and then you've got a staff that kind of hobbles around and just kind of watch it. So it's holistic.
You have those referees out there. How's that been going for the team? Less penalties?
I would like the referees to throw more flags at us to make it even harder. To have a very strict line of, I would say, discernment, so that they understand that we need to be perfect with our hands. We need to be perfect with our technique. We need to understand angles so that we don't get caught up in a wrong angle and a bad body position where all of a sudden we're grabbing a face mask or holding a linebacker. All those things come into play. And the pre-snap stuff, the alignments, you know, from our formational standpoint, jumping off sides, it's a huge point of emphasis as well. That right there, I mean, we weren't very good when we were in 1st and 15. I don't think anybody is, or 1st and 20. We've got to eliminate that stuff.
Coach, you've talked a lot about, you know, wanting more discipline and focus on, you know, high standards, which is all a good thing. It seems like the guys that you've added to your staff have really kind of stood for that. I'm wondering how the players are responding to guys like Jim Castro that are, you know, a little more focused, you know, obviously very focused on discipline.
These guys are great teachers. And I know as a player, I always respected coaches that made me better. And the first thing they got to know is that you care. Second thing is that you have a high level of expertise to make them better. I think they recognize that. And then they see the time invested. They'll swing by at any time, or when they go home, those lights are still going to be on, right? Yesterday as a staff, we went over to the Jacobs Center to make sure everyone's in playing their study sessions as we prepare for final exams. And the mentality can change from what we do here to what we do over there. Discipline is a way of life, and it's a habit. What do they say? You got to go like 21 days straight to create a habit. Is that correct?
2 weeks.
10,000 repetitions. We've targeted 25,000 repetitions to get it right. To make sure, you know, we've said this before, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but we're not going to take the attitude of do it until you get it right. We're going to keep doing it until you can't get it wrong. That's a big mentality thing for us. Good?
We're good.
Thank you guys. Have a great one.